you know, how did they find wells? Because they look for a stream, they'll walk with the branch and it'll be pulled down. This is a highly sophisticated version of a branch. So, Sunda, so I'm just going to measure your field, or a part of your field. We have many layers, okay? So don't think of anything if that's possible. I'm just going to walk towards you. And by the way, they rotate freely, so you can't really control it. It will just, so they will converge at the edge of one of your bodies, your subtle bodies, which is your emotional body. Notice that it converges just there. And if I went any further, it will open up again, okay? So let's look at the effect of thought and feeling on our field. What is the ideal? We want our field as expanded as possible, because that's where our health and well-being comes from, our happiness, right? And centered. Most of us are not in our center. Can you accept that? Yeah. We're a little out of it, most of us. And every time you use a cell phone or sit in front of a computer, it's going to take you out of your center, and I'll show you. So let's think of something that makes you so happy. Is that difficult? Have you got something?
I've got something.
Okay, all right. By the smile, it looks like you have. Okay. Okay, that's okay. That's expansion, right? Her field expanded, right? Can you feel it in your body? How does it feel when you think about it? I'm sure you can do better than that, Asanda, because there's some little bit of stress there thinking about it. So a place. Let's not think about a person, your partner, but a beautiful place that just uplifts you. Because when you think about your partner or your family or whatever, yeah, no, there's stress and there's no stress, and you know. So think about the most beautiful place that just uplifts your spirit. Have you got something?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's check it out. This is like a lie detector, you know, you can't fool this one. Wow, that's fantastic. Now that's expansion. We want to live with an expanded field because it nourishes every cell of our bodies. Okay? Now, sorry to do this to you, but if you can think about something a little stressful, like when you're having problems with your husband, your partner. Okay? Oh, that should have been easy. Or traffic. Nothing big, because otherwise I won't get you back. So just something mild. Traffic,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
just whatever. Not your worst trauma. All right, so you're doing very well on this one. Okay. Wow. So that's contraction. Okay? Now, let's try and come back to the happy thought. If you can. And this is not as easy as you think it is, because the brain is wired to have a negative bias for survival purposes. So we remember the stress much better than we remember. Okay, unless it's...
Just put those things in two holders and walk towards them. Could you do it without having to have a second person?
I think the dowser's energy is there. It probably would work. But I'm holding on to just something surrounding that. Yeah.
Back to happy, please.
All right, back to happy, happy, happy. Okay, that's quite good. All right, so now what I want to show you, we're going to muscle. Have you been muscle tested before?
No.
Hold your arm real strong. I'm just going to push down there. Feel that? Now think of that happy thought. uplifting thought. And notice that your arm is really strong. Now go to the stress.
Oh,
I hardly have to touch you. You feel the difference.
yeah.
So
That-
when you're pressing it on, or how does it work?
I'm
Just hold it.
No, I'm pushing in. If I did what most kinesiologists do and push down, that's very stressful on the muscles. Hold the happy thought. Now, yes, it's going to be strong, but not 100%. And think of the unhappy thought. Okay. Now, when I press in, I'm not working with muscles. I'm working with the actual joint. So hold strong. I can push as hard as I want. Well, it's not going to, with no effort. This is a system I had to develop because I had problems with regular kinesiology. And now think of the unhappy thought. I don't hardly have to touch her, you see. So it's an absolute yes and no, rather than this who's done kinesiology?
Very familiar.
Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. Now, where's your pain?
Oh, it was. Not sure I can feel it anymore.
Well,
It
the
was
rainbow
between-
card went up. It might
well,
have.
yeah, it was
And the
between.
happy thought.
That couldn't help.
Yeah, well, let's test your spine.
It was
Let's
between my
test your
shoulder
spine.
blades.
Yeah. So that's nice and strong. That's strong. A little weak. Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah, no, that is weak. Okay. And that is weak all the way down, actually. You feel the difference between that?
Yeah.
That's strong, nice and strong, and there. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, that's going to show in her what? Her field. Because the field is primary. You see, the field causes the molecular change. As Einstein said, the field is the primary agent that governs the molecule. So what I'm going to do, we found that one, you weren't thinking it was about here, right? Now turn around, face the other way. And don't think of anything, eh? Now notice she's contracted there. All right, turn to your right. Whoops. Right there. Okay, turn the other way.
This way or-
Okay. Where do you think it's going to test?
Close.
Close. In fact, not even close. It's in the middle of her body. So where is she? She is beyond on the right, right? And more to the front. Now, what comes first, the pain or the imbalance in the field? What do you think?
Imbalance in the field.
Balance in the field. Often, yes, you can have an accident that immediately, but we often injure the parts of ourselves that already have a weak energetic link. So if you lie down, let me just move the table a little bit. Okay, on your back.
Shoes on.
Sorry, something fell. Now, what do you expect to see in her structure? Some imbalance, right? Because the field was completely out. So we may see a difference in her leg length. Have a look. So this is, if you want to come around, come see. And rotation. No, rotation's fine. But leg length, you've got about 2 centimeters there. If you want to come have a look, please do. And you mind if I touch your hips? Now, come around. Is that okay?
Yeah.
What are we seeing here?
Sure.
This is higher
Big difference.
than that, right? So it's an angle like that. Which was longer? Okay, so here the right one was longer, and yet the hip is much higher. Now, let's look at the rib cage. Now, look at that.
Sure.
Now, the gap between the hip and the ribs there, and the gap and the ribs there, can you feel that? That's the gap. And that's common for all of us. Let's have your hands above your head. And straight fingers, straight arms. Okay, straight fingers. And actually here's not bad. So this is fine. Normally this shows quite a big difference. And why is that? Because when we check her spine, what's the core of our body? The spine, right? So we have strong cervical, upper thoracic, strong, right? We come down here and hold strong. Nothing there. Nothing. You feel the difference?
How is that happening?
That
How
happens
strong.
to all of us. All right, let's take a rainbow card.
In the packet.
Yeah, we'll try a rainbow because there are many, many ways of doing this. Later I'll show you a very powerful way of doing this. So let's take a rainbow. And what I'm going to do, it has to be specific. Like we found the front door, that was specific. What is her front door? On her spine. So I'm going to move this across. I'll put my pendulum to neutral. You see that? And it'll tell me where, and it's not necessary where the pain was. You see it swinging there? That was positive. So I'm going to put the rainbow. Now, of course, I've got other ways where you don't have to do this. But let's watch her body change, just to show you the power of the card. Now just lie down, and let's watch her ribs, because her ribs were really out. So just watch. How does it feel? Okay. Very slowly, something's going on there. Now, of course, there's always emotional component, and that's what we always find. Might not just work, but you see it's already changed. Can you see that? It's almost level.
Yeah.
Let's try the hips. Hips are now perfect. And the ribs, still a little bit of difference. Let's check your feet. Now, this is the mildest way, the much more powerful ways of doing this. You notice the feet. Completely level. Completely. So now when we go back, now of course, there we go. That's the edge. That's not bad. I think it's probably a 0.5 centimeter difference. And let's check those areas of her spine that were. Now I want you to feel the difference there. You feel that? And I'm pushing hard.
Yeah.
Feel that? So where the pain was, notice how strong that is. That's the most important thing, that the energy is flowing. Because what happens with our body, that's where the chakras connect into. Everything flows through the spine, your central nervous system. You feel the difference there?
I do. I'm feeling not like a hot water bottle, but like a warmth.
Right.
Like, it
Yeah.
feels good. Like this warmth.
Now, this is not working on the physical body, even though it's contacting, it's working on the field. I'm going to show you later on, we'll use cards that don't come near the physical body. We can do the same thing. Come stand up, Cassandra.
Wow.
And, no what?
I'm next.
Okay, you can come next. All right. Yeah, but let me measure her first, and let's see the difference in the field. Now, this is really our original way of dealing with this. Now we have much, much more sophisticated ways. Well, I'll show you. That's how we used to deal with it. Now, how's her field now?
Big.
Turn around. What are we going to see here?
It's going to be out of the middle.
Same. To your right. We'll fix the dyslexia afterwards. There we go. Turn the other way. Now, just beware of her now. She is coming with a big field. So not only We have expansion that happened and centering. Those are the two most important components. If you centered and expanded, you're going to be healthy. Which doesn't say much for my sore throat. How does it feel? Give us some feedback.
I don't know, I'm feeling
Light,
I
happy.
can actually still kind of feel the energy here. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a tightness. It's like a warmth, you know. I don't know how to explain it. But then I feel like, you know, I want to dance. Like I feel really fresh. I feel really light. I feel.
Sorry, my buddy, you're into trouble now, hey? You can,
Left to God.
What is the
For a
reason
bike
she's
ride.
feeling so good?
because it's aligned her energy and it's expanded just the rainbow. And believe me, this is a minuscule way of doing it. We have much more sophisticated.
So in other words, if somebody just lay on that without having you do all this pushing for a little bit, they would come
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and dance.
Yeah.
So even people who can't dance can dance after lying on
One
the
of
bed.
the